I didn't get to check the map because apparently we're having some technical difficulties. Hopefully it's a little bit better now.
Oh no. Yeah, so it looks like we're going to Night Market, and we do have Adrenaline Rush and Siege Machine, Bang Bang, Showtime. Uh yeah, should be an interesting one here. There's a big roster match, names that everybody has seen before here. Dendor, are you back? What's good?
Well, we can certainly attempt to hope so.
I'm sad. But yeah, getting on here, we have only Fudgy Waffles and Megaverse taking the Siege Machine, giving a little bit of creation duration, projectile distance, kind of a good all-around perk. Gives you a little bit of everything for creation characters. Really great to see here. And huge rosters, like I said here. We've seen Shanzu do some insane stuff a little bit earlier on. The Joker now playing a lot of Brawler now, a little bit of a role swap there. Megaverse sticking to the goalie as well. And now, man, Grimella, Fudgy, and Droo with a super strong team as well. So an exciting match coming up here as both barriers are going to go down inside of Bang Bang. It's going to be a rough spot. Actually, sorry about that. It's actually Showtime. I'm walking backwards here. All right, cool. Dendar, thoughts?
Well, I like the team comps here. The Kai and Kazan, I think, is going to be really great to sort of get around some of the rune shenanigans. However, that said, the core goes around the rune pillar there. But Rune is one of those characters on that map where if they get that awakening, like Monumentalist or Timeless Creator, that'll help them close down that lane. That could be really suffocating for the enemy offense. And we also see the Era X here, who great combination, especially in these tight corridors where an Era Tornado can really shut things down, or an X given some size could really cause some chaos just like that. A quick kill and a quick barrier. We'll have to see if this defense can survive.
Absolutely, indeed. As you said, the demonic combo of X Era usually followed with a little bit of Mako action or something to at least, like maybe now, to support X even more. But yeah, getting a nice kill with the Bull Rush X Maximus as usual. We're going to see a whole lot of that from Joker. They're going to try to main deck kills here as the Adrenaline Rushes are certainly going to come into play. And it's an interesting pick here to see Megaverse on Rune. I know he does play Rune in general, but a really kind of a forgotten pick as of recent. Rune kind of maybe the worst character in the game right now. I don't know. It's possible Finny is showing up in that spot, but yeah, going to keep it a little bit even here as we have 1-1 right now. Landing the Banish onto the core is going to give them a little bit of advantage here. Joker's in X Maximus, going to not get too much off of that. Megaverse has flip for defensive uses here. Shanzu using the Bewitching Beam on to Droo and keep a little aggression there nullified. We're not going to see a flip here. We are going to see both the flip and a loss of a barrier. Unfortunate for Megaverse. Is coming back really fast, though. Shanzu is going to be able to defend it here. Now we have Big X coming in hot, but we got a 2v1 here with Droo and Garmella. It's going to be a little too much for Megaverse to handle there. And it's like, it's kind of wishy-washy with Rune. It's like, if you get the pillar up and it's solid, it'll block anything no matter what. But if it's a little bit too close, it blocks almost nothing. It's crazy like that.
It is certainly difficult when you have those multi-hits against Rune, because those pillars, while they do form and block the multi-hits, if you have to stop a multi-hit yourself, it can be quite difficult as you don't have that ability to really stuff it out with something like an Asher Primary or maybe a Dubu Log. But here we do see Joker trying to get stuffed.
Agreed. Give him a second here. Alright, continuing on, Joker definitely getting stuffed a little bit, getting hit with a bunch of abilities. Currently at stagger, grabs an orb to regen up a little bit here. Both barriers down for each side here. Bang Bang gets scored on, though, so Showtime's bringing it to a 2-2 in this current set here. Actually, relatively even. I mean, everyone's level 3 here. Everyone's participating pretty actively, so, man, this is kind of not really what we want to see if you're Bang Bang, though, because it's like X Era slow start. But if they take the first set with X Era, it is so much worse for you if X gets going faster. That's even more awakenings he gets to have. So it's a rough spot.
Yeah, it really is, especially if Grimella falls behind a little bit, right? That Kai pretty vulnerable in terms of the stagger department. Joker can start taking over the game, and a KO attempted on Droo. This X-Era comp, like you said, is getting the kills early, is getting the Adrenaline Rush procs, and with that speed, they're looking to convert into the barrier here, but Grimella and Fudgy are holding for now, a flip used, and they will hold until the respawn comes in.
Yes, sir. Good job here from Fudgy Waffles. Yeah, holding it down quite a bit. The Rhythm Strike giving you a little bit extra range, doing such a great job here. Okay, actually, the Maelstrom's going to knock Fudgy out of the drum and bass. We're going to have... All right, Megaverse going to get a little bit of control here with Shianzu. Going to try to dig it out of the corner. Pillar's not going to do all that much here. Droo has a shot. Yeah, the crooked leverage is going to be... Oh, man. I'm not like a Kazan hater, but like that move is so good. I can't explain how good that move is. It's just... Anyway, oh, so good.
Yeah.
Got Gramella.
Great move and a great pilot with Droo, and of course Gramella, first pick here, has a chance to take the Chrono Boost for himself or maybe deny some damage, but I think there's too much trouble on the other side to think of denying something like the Stinger. Maybe that'll come in, but no, just pass down. Good awakenings for everyone here, especially the Orb Ponder, something to look out for. Joker with 2 forms of CD refund, the Orb Ponder and the Adrenaline Rush now. Looking to be quite scary heading into this round, and of course the Stinger picked up by Shianzu to take it away from a potential pick later on, but I think Bang Bang clutching out that first set, really important, like you said earlier, buys a lot of time against the X era.
Absolutely, and yeah, like also you were saying that this Awakening draft had seemed relatively, I mean, it's pretty powerful. Everyone got a great Awakening. Unfortunately, little Shianzu getting the Stinger is just certainly a big deny here. Does not do all that much for Era. But, I mean, something big like Hotshot on Megaverse is really great. And yeah, the Orb Ponder for TheJoker is actually a little bit unusual, but not unusual, but more like not seen too often, but it's quite powerful. And X Maximus is going to go a little bit crazy here. Is not going to be able to sink it in there just yet. Good job for Droo and Bungie Waffles keeping that aggression off. Gramella finally comes back, full cooldowns, blasts it on through that Rune Pillar Megaverse, making a play for just a moment here. As we can see also, we got actually eject button Rune, which is something, man, I've wanted to try this for a long time, but we're going to see how it works right now. Honestly, doing a solid job here. Droo can't seem to land it past Megaverse just yet, though. His overtime is going to come in there, and man, gonna get it instantly. It's like a second over overtime. Already got the launch of the perfect pitch there, and Fudgy Waffle is gonna grab that one for the side of Bang Bang.
Yeah, true to the name, Bang Bang, and with a bang. That's the goal in overtime as it ticks over. Something that's pretty hard to react to with the cast time on Megaverse's abilities, and of course the cooldowns being spent, as well as Gramella making use of this Chrono Boost speed quite well here on a map like Night Market. Having control of the center, having control of the speed is so important to push down the lane, and we're seeing it right here. Great saves from Fudgy Waffles to keep it away from the barriers. One will go down to Joker as Joker pushes in, but the offense from Joker and Shianzu isn't quite coming together here.
Yeah, it's a tough spot there, but really good flip, good wait from Fudgy Waffles. Just it is a little guessy when it comes to flipping when somebody's kind of directly on top of you. You kind of just like try your best to wait for their strike or whatever like that. Joker didn't strike, but Fudgy Waffles just kind of guessed the timing. Good job on him to get it past. No problem there. The storm's coming in hot, but oh, Fudgy Waffles just waits just a hair too long there, unfortunately, to lose the barrier in that spot. Joker really right on the front lines here. Shianzu actually kind of went back and got the speed boost. Possibly could have scored there if they stayed forward, but they're going to make a different kind of approach here as Megaverse is going to deny that one away with the anomaly. We're going to have Megaverse grab the ball here, going to punish Droo, and Joker's going to grab another kill. Super fast Adrenaline Rush at speed, X Maximus flip. I mean, my goodness, this guy has everything in this moment. Fudgy Waffles was... I mean, that's kind of going to be a checkmate spot, but yeah, it's only going to be 1-1. Keeping it even right now in this set.
Yeah, and actually really incredibly played by Joker with that extra speed. Fudgy threw the Ensnare drums upwards to try and catch Joker. A desperate attempt, of course. But Joker just outplayed it, walked around it, and in this point too, 2 barriers gone in an instant, and Joker is looking to be that scoring threat, looking to get the set, but Droo on the other side is looking for the barriers.
Yeah. Really close call from Joker and Gramella's interaction there. Gramella almost had been sacrificed to the Blood God as Joker is trying to get just more and more Adrenaline Rush here. Just keeping it in the top corner. They're trying their best to get it out of here. Gramella cannot get any health regen there, and is unfortunately going to die to the Bewitching Beam, and Joker and Shianzu are going to push this big offensive push on here. Megaverse dropping a couple more anomalies here. Joker is finally staggered. Can they make some use of this? Gramella maybe with the barrage? Oh man, did not seem to land that one there. Joker kind of spinning in place, but boy, is actually just dodging a bunch of abilities here. And the pressure just continues for the side of Showtime as they're... Joker's not going down, and in fact, they're just kind of wasting abilities on him at this point, and they finally get him. A barrier's going to go down, and can they sink this one? Bang Bang, absolutely yes. The, hold on, here it is. Not top spin, pop-up, it's pop-up. He gets it with pop-up, I'm a genius.
Yeah, and Megaverse didn't flip there, which is both a curse and a blessing, right? They could have scored and made it 2-1 in their favor, but having that flip for this point is also pretty important, especially with Xianzhu having that resource as well. Droo looking for a flip, looking for the barriers with Grimella. A defensive flip by Megaverse into a banish will get it out of there.
Yeah, that was definitely really unorthodox, but I guess like the safest thing you could do, even if it costs most of your abilities. Really cool angle there from Droo, but doesn't sink that one. And Xianzhu's going to have this flip here defensively and probably going to use it. Man, that was close. Going to bet all of their trust that they can get it out without using this flip, because they might actually really need it to take this point home here, though. Xianzhu and Joker finally get an offensive push here. Double flip on board. Man, Grimella gets it in, though. Grimella playing a really great midfield. Fudgy moves forward to try to bait a little bit of offensive pressure there. Megaverse gonna have a shot here at the top. Okay, actually gonna keep it Xianzhu's grasp here. Joker actually breaks the side of the Mako ult instantly. The flips are not coming out here. Xianzhu with just about no health. Overtime once again shows up, and it's gonna be a tough spot here. And I mean, Showtime's got to make something happen.
Yeah, they take the barrier, but now they have to be careful because Droo shot to the top side and Megaverse doesn't quite have the move speed to get there with the current awakenings. A great play by Droo. It's 3-1 in the set, and another set here for Bang Bang, looking to close it out 3-0, not trying to give the X era any room to scale. And even here, they have some great options in the draft. 1-2 punch for the Kazan, or maybe the Rampage deny away from Joker, but probably the 1-2 punch. No, goes for the size instead, the immediate size with recovery drone. But that means Rampage is passed down to Joker. That is room to become a little bit huge, and Among Titans passed down potentially as well. Monumentalist not taken in favor of the Among Titans to try and buff up Joker as much as possible.
Yeah, big awakenings here, big size coming out here for both of the Brawler characters, and we're gonna see if Joker can get all the size that they're looking for. I mean, this, on paper, this is what you would expect from X era. I mean, it hasn't happened yet, but in theory, it's like, oh, you win both sets against X era. Now the third set is when things get even, or balanced, or maybe out of hand, in fact, as X era might go insane. As we can already see, that Droo, though, is kind of making it happen himself. Bang Bang going a little bit crazy right now. Megaverse holding it down until he can't. Unfortunate spot there. Something to keep out for. Megaverse did decide to take Monumentalist, which sometimes makes pillars harder to, you know, squeeze them in the right spot to make them solid. So I'm interested to see how that one works out.
Yeah, and right there, Mega Striker is not a game with many laggy moves, but Rune Banish is possibly the laggiest among them, and Megaverse getting caught out using it in the midfield there. Unfortunate for Showtime, but if you're Bang Bang, you'll take those. But Showtime will take that KO. Adrenaline Rush proc for Joker as well. Look at the X Maximus going right in. Both barriers taken already, and Joker has flip available.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. In this whole series so far, it feels like Joker has gotten a kill, gotten the adrenaline rush, pushed as hard as possible, but it's actually Bang Bang that's taking most of the points here. It's just the defense is looking super strong, stronger than it feels for the side of Bang Bang. So I cannot count them out at all, as they are currently indeed winning here. We're gonna have a flip from Megaverse to try to get his Joker here to again dig it out of the top corner here. Xianzhu get a chance to hit the ball. Joker keeps it on the top side. The Maelstrom's not gonna get a kill or the ball either. The Bewitching Beam also gonna dodge, but X Maximus gonna knock everyone out of the way and the ball into the goal. Okay, we got actually 0 stacks. They did end up killing Joker. He's got 0 stacks on both items here, so this is a Bang Bang moment, I think.
Yeah, it's Bang Bang's game to win here. 2 more points and they avoid any potential further draft. They take the game, a 1-0 lead. Exactly what they want, and with Droo having meter with the resources, it is definitely a possibility. Grimella, of course, so much speed on this Kai. A banished core, though, is a bit awkward as Xianzhu keeps it forward, and Droo trying to use his flip but can't quite get any value out of it. And now Joker and Xianzhu are trying to play, but Grimella's Kai barrages have been stuffing any sort of offense.
Yeah, Grimella just in the right place at the right time, the right cooldowns, just doing a really good job of resource management and positional advantage here. Megaverse trying to, man, even the Monumentalist rune, it sometimes just isn't enough. Yeah, it does. You don't have Cast to Last, you don't have Timeless. Timeless no longer exists. I think that was Rune's probably best awakening, and yeah, the Barrage plus Droo just sending in the top spin. I mean, that is, Grimella had flip for this moment as well. It was going to be nearly unwinnable for Megaverse, but it's possible that the Rune goalie is even with all these creation and awakenings is not enough to deal with something like the speed of Kai and the range on Kazan.
Yeah, and the I guess the tough part is there's a lot of multi-hits on the Kazan and the Kai, and those multi-hits can just power through the rune pillars before they form. And I think Dendar mentioned that before he got sent to the Shadow Realm. But yeah, that's one of the weaknesses of Rune, especially the Rune goalie, and we're seeing it in full display. I think Bang Bang drafted around it quite well, and a flip miss from Megaverse, that might be a disaster because Grubella and Droo and a power play might be the end of this game.
Yeah, both cooldowns done from Megaverse. Nothing left. Power play activated. Almost dies. Droo has size. I mean, bars and whatnot, but oh yeah, okay. Not even enough bar to evade if Megaverse was going to try that. A great Giga Blast from Grimella. Again, the positional advantage, top side Giga Blast is just going to get that one in there. And 2 barriers. We can still see the last little frame here. 2 barriers still up for the side of Bang Bang. And that was, we'll go ahead and say that's a how you beat X era moment.
Yeah, and just a masterclass of working around the Rune, working around the X era. Grimella, I think, performing very, very notably that game, and we'll have to see if they could do it in the next game, because Bang Bang, they're 1-0 in the season. They would like to make it a 2-0.
Absolutely, for sure. I mean, this is it. This is the big one. This is NASL, Strikers League. I mean, this is where you want to perform. This is where you want your scrims to, reach their fruition. All of your hard work coming in hot. And I really hope that this wasn't I picked Rune angle, or like, I don't know. Of course, I'm not going to say like, oh no, it was just the goalie. But like, I don't know. I don't know. It's like Rune shows up and things get kind of weird. I want Rune to be viable. I have more hours in Rune than I have in any other character. But man, is it hard? Is it hard? And we had a eject button Rune in that one, so I don't know if that was. I saw him eject maybe like twice in like a oh, we have to eject spot now, or like, oh, I'm forward, we can go forward back. But I don't know. It does give you 50% CDR, but it just doesn't feel as powerful as it could be. I don't know.
Well, speaking of Rune, we have a bit of a Rune expert with us, Dendar. What are your thoughts?
Oh, hit it.
This Megaverse guy, they banish the enemies and they banish me before the game even starts. I mean, I didn't even get to cast that one when my favorite character's on the screen. On your eject button topic, though, I feel that against a team with that many multi-hits, something like a momentum boost could be a little difficult to get stacking up and get into the fray. And then Strike Shot, with it being such a close quarters map, sometimes it can get body blocked by people. So the eject button, I don't think is necessarily a wrong pick. It does give you that little bit of forward presence that you feel like you might need sometimes, especially when your team gets pushed up a lane, you have speed gate control, and all of a sudden there's a Rune in front of your goal, 2 pillars, what can you do? But there, it just did not seem to work out quite how you wanted it to. But as we go into this next game, I did get to catch a good bit of that game, and I did like what I was seeing. And although the X era comp did not quite scale how it needed to, I think there was definitely a lot of potential there, so we might see something like that get picked up again. Do we happen to know what the next map is, or the awakenings for that, or are we figuring that out right now?
Looks like it could be Clarion Test Chamber, Night Market, Atlas Lab. So it actually is going to be the Atlas Lab here. And we have a little bit of Orb Ponder, and again, we have some creation showing up. Monumentalist. Surely we'll see a now ban, because no one trying to deal with Monumentalist now at this point in time. I actually have a Kazan ban first off. Okay, yeah. So there's the now ban, no problem. This is kind of like a. So now it's like Monumentalist. I think Monumentalist era is kind of like a big change. Like when you get Monumentalist on era, you like become so strong in a lot of situations. Being able to like, Asher's Path Splitter. I mean that Monumentalist era, that's Path Splitter. I'll tell you for sure. So if they want to try era again, I think it's like a solid spot, and maybe they have the shot. Yeah, you could be right. We could see another X era spot.
It's definitely an interesting era angle, especially with Monumentalist in those pockets. It's already so hard to defend those pockets sometimes, and when you have a massive Maelstrom just coming through, pushing everybody aside, it feels like it's impossible to defend that without potentially dying in the process. However, we do see Mako and X as the first pickups here. That's interesting. They've recognized that Estelle has been picked up for the other team. That midfield slot has already been taken, so they don't have to take the Era right away for that X. They can take the Mako, a strong defensive goalie here, especially with Orb Ponderer, a great awakening when you're in the goal box because it just helps you refill those cooldowns so quickly since you're always going to have an Orb available. And then with the Asher and the Juliet picked up, I have to imagine that's an Asher goalie. So you've got Juliet and Estelle trying to fight in those pockets. I think that's going to be really, really good, especially with that presence that Estelle has, where even when the black hole is up, that sort of suffocates where the play can happen. And then Estelle can sort of ignore that and just jump in when she needs to or throw out a piercing shot. I have to imagine the Era is the last pick here. And
Yeah.
well, there it is. Well, X does have some cooldowns. That Orb Ponder is going to give more X Maximus, which that is a huge tool for scoring KOs, scoring barriers, anything you could really need. So I do like this comp pickup and how they approached this draft here. However, X versus Asher goalie is a matchup we have seen be a bit difficult for X. You can't just force your way through against that barrier beam, that path splitter. And with the CC reduction on that secondary, it can be really difficult to score when you need to sometimes. So we're really going to have to see that midfield come to life here and be another scoring opportunity for their team. But as far as these drafts goes, I like both of these teams. I think the bans are both reasonable. We'll just have to see which team comes out on top here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Droo, definitely a master of the Kazan, as we have already seen a couple different times, and getting that one out of there, getting any now monumental stuff out of there for sure. I think everything that has happened so far, as far as picks and bans, makes perfect sense. Like Sarah being kind of like a jack of all trades. Like they have pretty good core control. It's pretty good. It's not like super great. And they have potential to kill in a lot of different situations, especially with Mako as the goalie to support X and everything he wants to do in life. But then we have like the real core control team here with Estelle and Juliet. And if it's gonna be, I don't know, I feel like if X gets size, it's gonna be really tough to deal with in this specific situation. But I don't know, they're gonna have to try their best to keep it away from X angle. And you know, like you were also saying, dealing with the black hole, having a lot of ranged abilities like Estelle does, it gets you a lot more control of how the black hole will explode or not, even just like playing around that. In most situations, I think it's a good idea to have Estelle in this spot.
I think the theme of this game is going to be speed. The speed that Grimella can pull out to make the offenses happen, or the speed of how quickly Joker and Shianzu can either score some quick kills or barriers with these dash punches and piercing shots to try to not let this X era scale. We'll just have to see which one comes out on top here. Both nets are open. It's a scary situation.
Yeah, for sure. This was only 30 seconds gone by, and we do have both barriers going down. A lot of offensive pressure coming out. Grimella losing all of their health right now, currently staggered, but not a ton of ways to confirm kills for the side of Showtime here. I mean, Dash Punch is pretty good at it. Just Punch is not going to do it, that's for sure. And unfortunately, the breakthrough and the barrier beam is not going to be enough to save that one. And Droo with the X era this time, so they actually switched teams in that spot, are going to be the ones to take the first goal.
We saw Grimilla get low there, and then like piranhas, they swarmed, blood in the water, but I think that may have gone against them, as it turned out their positioning was not perfect after that moment. It gave them a little bit of confusion about who to go where. But right now, this path splitter is going to the bottom side. We'll have to see if, with that cooldown gone, how Droo is going to be able to score some goals here. But when you have Shianzu backing you up, it definitely is a little bit safer when you have a player of that caliber helping you on the defense, allowing Megdorf here to even walk up a bit, but recognizing the situation, seeing their forward is a bit in danger. They back off, reset the play, and now with this Maelstrom gone, this pocket's going to be a little bit harder to take. But with Fudgy Waffles, he does have that flip, and Grimella's working on one of their own. We may see this play come to life now the Joker's back in the fray.
Absolutely, power play is over. Fudgy Waffles has flipped. A little bit low on health. Shianzu certainly is low on health and going to have to try to get a little bit of regen here, as they're all going to send all of their abilities and dodge. Shianzu, being a little slippery snake here, does get caught, unfortunately, eventually, with the bell ringer plus a little bit of bass and drum action. And now the Joker is alone with Megaverse here on defense, and not too much coming out here as the bell ringer. Okay, actually, Grimella didn't end up striking there to combine combo here with the bell ringer, and we're gonna have the strike shot, gonna make a lot of pressure again for Megaverse, and it's gonna be an actual pass down to Droo. with that flip, and is going to get that one in there. 2-0 right now for Bang Bang, and they have controlled basically every portion of this series so far.
Good awareness on that black hole. That slight spin that it puts on the core could have messed up that pass, but Fudgy Waffles, having played this map probably a million times, recognizes that that's going to happen and sends it perfectly to Droo there for an excellent goal. However, Xianzhu now in a bit of trouble. The inevitability of this X-era comp is definitely coming to life here, where even with very few awakenings and very little time into this game, it feels like there's so much pressure you have to deal with. Just like Joker putting the pressure on Fudgy with that ult to allow them to score that barrier. But Joker has that flip available, but Xianzhu doesn't have much health. We'll have to see which one goes first.
Yeah, that was really good recognition from the Joker there. Actually had the Bewitching Beam coming at it with no health there. He would have actually died if he didn't flip, but gets the flip, gets the evade, gets the point. The Joker on board right there with that super great flip. And that's the kind of gameplay we're trying to see here from the side of Showtime if they're trying to bring this one back.
Gotta agree. However, with that black hole gone, it's interesting because there's sort of two schools of thought here, right? Where you want that black hole up so that you can suffocate where the play is allowed to be. However, when you have a character like Estelle, having an open field is also quite nice to allow them to maneuver around, get to exactly where they need to be with no threat to their health. Just as they threaten this barrier with Megaverse even being able to walk up here with that flip, scary stuff. But Joker needs to watch out or this X might have something to say about it.
Yeah, it's really all on like Fudgy Waffles and Grimella to kind of defend the ball here. Droo playing also not really third goalie, more like attacking Joker in Fudgy Waffles' goal right there. Didn't exactly work out as the Joker is just a little bit low, not dead, and now unstaggered. So I would say like effort futile, but like still one barrier up for each team. It wasn't really catastrophe. And man, Fudgy Waffles is somehow going to whiff that strike there. Droo looking a little bit low right now, extra low, so low, falling off the map, completely staggered. Ball kind of gifted to Joker there through Fudgy Waffles' perfect pitch. Not exactly where you want to see the ball there, and that's kind of an oops moment. And we're going to have an even 2-2 set right now.
That is definitely a big kill because we are 0.5, and that's 0 Orb Ponderer stacks on the table for Droo with that KO. That is going to be big for denying these cooldowns, but Droo denies the life of the enemy midfield with that quick bull rush into punch, very reminiscent of Juliet's dash punch. But with one barrier gone, we'll have to see if they can take the second one during this power play, but Megaverse is holding it down excellently. I feel that even though that you have that very defensive goalie, Asher, you still have to pilot it well, and Megaverse is certainly doing just that. However, Droo is trying to potentially pilot another kill for his team here instead of a power play to maybe get this barrier.
Oh, that was the big dash punch right there, getting right through to Grimella. Fudgy Waffles not. It's an interesting situation, right? Because Fudgy was standing in a spot where if Showtime ended up passing, if Bang ended up passing, he would have been in the right spot for it. But he kind of trusted Grimella there to defend the bottom spot. But I mean, dash punch is hard to beat. You have to evade, even if you're the forward in that situation, because if the ball gets past you, it's curtains, it's goal. So if Fudgy Waffles maybe had a strike shot there, moving down might have been the better situation, just to make sure that the bottom part is defended in that spot. And a couple of good awakenings going out here. Nothing too remarkable, other than maybe the recovery drone onto Joker is quite good. Keep in mind, Fudgy Waffles now has hot shots, so that makes things a little bit crazy for the side of Showtime as well, as it's just going to be constant pressure. Red ball is not something you want to be dealing with if you're kind of slow Asher.
It's a little difficult, though, because if you're that goalie against an Estelle, you might want that unstoppable. Because even if something like the Juliet doesn't have the dash punch, they just have a punch, that's another thing that you can defend against with that single hit. However, instead, with this hot shot, like you said, that's going to allow them to keep the offensive plays very high tempo for their team, which might be what they need to keep it out of this half, almost like a team player in that respect. But another thing to look out for here is a couple stagger pickups here, one by Droo, one by Xianzhu. Xianzhu most likely trying to stay alive, but Droo, with that very high base stagger, is going to make a lot out of it, just as they make a lot out of that strike, getting a quick goal for their team. But the energy's looking high on both teams, other than Xianzhu here, who just has enough to potentially survive.
Yeah, one evade might be just enough to save your life at this spot, but like you said, yeah, a ton of energy coming out. Droo giving a little bit of pass to Grimella, trying to get a little bit extra energy. Both forwards have Flip now, sending it into the top corner. Gonna spend Mega versus Flip there. Unfortunately, gonna lose the barrier in the process, not the angle we're looking for. Joker, kind of looking low here, quite staggered. 4 stacks of Ponderer. They're looking to try to clear that one out. Droo with the Bull Rush, not going to get Megaverse caught out of position there. Going to try to defend both. Oh, yeah, actually, really great barrier beam to defend the bottom side. The Path Splitter going to come out here and defend the goal here. Joker, and again, no health. Droo also kind of at no health, though. But man is able to grab the orb there. It's a really tough spot here for Joker. He has Flip, doesn't want to spend it in this spot. Going to play a little bit of defensive goalie action here. Xianzhu going to take the front lines, but it's not going to be enough to get past Droo and Grimella. And yeah, even that situation is just going to be too tough. Droo is kind of... He's not even have size, but he's kind of big. He just looks big. When he scores, he's just big.
He is certainly out there, but it can be a little difficult at times. Like, we're seeing Megaverse do these great defensive plays, but there's just so much inevitability, like we said earlier, to have these things happen. You kind of have to shut down this X. But with that little bit of stagger they have now, it feels very difficult to kill them now. You can't get that retribution that you wanted. So now you have to find another way to deny them the play here. And like you said, they are getting big thanks to the help of that Era and the Mako, where it feels like no matter where they are on the field, they have somebody supporting them. Which, when you're at this level of play, normally that's the case anyways, but this is in a different meaning where instead of having a player support you, you have a buff on you. And Joker almost finds out what that buff feels like as they potentially get knocked out by that dash punch, but they manage to survive here. But the barrier does not.
Yep, 1 barrier left for the side of Showtime here. Bang Bang looking quite good in this current set. Up 2-0 right now, trying to clean this one up. Grab a couple of really great awakenings here. No stagger characters coming out just yet, though. A little bit of damage displayed onto Joker there. Droo. Oh, okay. Actually, Xianzhu is going to be the piercing shot master. Going to keep this set alive for the side of Showtime. Getting a nice strike there. Or, not strike, more like a nice piercing shot onto Fudgy Waffles, onto the core. Gets that point and keeps the set alive.
We mentioned earlier how that unstoppable on the goalie could have been a good pickup for exactly that situation. Xianzhu, not a player that you can underestimate in this situation, especially on a character like Estelle, where it's all fundamentals. But right now, this barrier taking seems just fundamental for the team, as they've taken 2 in quick succession.
Yep, Bang once again looking really good for this set. 2 barriers down. A little bit of flip onto Fudgy Waffles could make for a really great passing play. The Joker is actually looking quite low. A double power play for the side of Bang, and yes, they clean up that set. 3-1 right there. Let's see who the MVP is to grab an important awakening here. Era, cast to last perhaps. A rapid fire might be catastrophic for the side of Showtime. Neither actually show up, but quick strike could be what we're looking for. Also, Orb Dancer. Big, it's a couple of big spots here.
This is definitely an interesting draft. I don't disagree with the quick strikes pickup. When you have that speed in the midfield as Era, it's going to give you a lot of potential ways to build up more energy to help your team. But 1-2 punch here as the pickup for X, a good deny onto Juliet, forcing them to just take some stagger and some healing. The aerial deny from Estelle, I agree with, plus that extra speed is going to help X move around the field, get in position where they need to. But leaving prime time for Estelle, that is by no means a bad pickup. That is going to be excellent for them in the midfield and the scoring potential. And with that unstoppable down left and right from various abilities, it's going to allow them more chances to pressure both in the midfield and the goal box. But right now they're pressuring Fudgy Waffles, who almost dies to that dash punch. That could have been catastrophic for the team. But one thing I'm seeing here is Megaverse is being extremely patient on these clears. There's a lot of times where they will just walk with the core and wait to recognize the situation and figure out exactly where they want it to go, and that's helping their team immensely on this defense. But right now we need to defend the life of Xianzhu, as it's not the barriers that are the only thing going down, they're trying to take them as well.
Yep, Xianzhu looking quite low right now. Again, unless there's really X Maximus, there's not too much kills going on here. Droo runs into the black hole, tries to get Xianzhu out of there, but not much gonna happen there. Again, spending a couple of abilities to just make it so Xianzhu never regens any health. But Droo, they actually turn it a little bit on Droo here. Xianzhu gets up. Droo is the one to fall into the goal of Bang Bang. And now we have a power play for the side of Showtime, who's going to be looking quite good. Yeah, Xianzhu piercing shot don't even need to hit the core sometimes. You know, it's just enough hit stun to make it so the goalie is just like, can't do anything. I'm stunned, dude. This is a rough spot. Taking the first point in this set, though, is Showtime.
That is definitely a bit of a tough spot, like you said, because when you have that core flip available, you don't want to burn the core flip if it's not going to hit the core, right? That just feels bad. But in that situation, you have to. And I feel like a lot of that could have been prevented with the Awakening picks, like we said. But this hotshot has definitely been good for them. Like, we can't deny that they have been great at getting this core out and helping their team reset the offense, especially with things like that primary that we just saw, where it's not just damage that they're able to throw out, but Joker is able to damage the enemy team's spirits with a quick kill on that dash punch. Now Shianzu, Megaverse are up, holding back the out clears while Joker gets in there. The snare drums not quite able to make it. There's a lot that's been burned here. It should make this one barrier defense on both sides a little bit more difficult.
And yeah, as the things are getting definitely a little bit more difficult. Shianzu, fortunately, going to find themselves in the grave right now. Is this power play going on for Bang Bang? Man, they're going to try to get this barrier through Megaverse, the Joker, but Joker doing a good job of doing a little bit of Juliet midfield action, but the overtime, it makes things so difficult sometimes. Even if you're like Asher, you have size or whatever, it's like still hard. The ball goes a little bit too fast. Now, great dribble here from Joker. Going to try to get this one in here. The Maelstrom's not going to land anything. Neither is the dash punch. Not going to get too much out of that. The hot shot coming out, but the piercing shot's going to be the one that stuns Fudgy Waffles and the ball. But Droo going to use the X Maximus to get a little bit of power. Actually, I don't think that was X Maximus. That was just the drum and bass. Droo gets it in there. 1-2 punch. 1-1 in this set.
That 1-2 punch with the overtime gonna send that core flying into the bottom side. Well, Asher's good at holding down these pockets. Once the net is a bit open, it's a bit reminiscent of Atlas, where, well, even though she does have a dash, she doesn't have that reach that other characters might have, and that's a tale that we're seeing for both of these goalies here. Oh, but Droo with an excellent angle of using that 1-2 punch speed to get it around the goalie. And we'll have to see if they can get it in here. Scary situation.
Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, it does end up flipping a little late. Kind of was deep in there, but maybe part of the plan, because making it so you can get it around the barrier there, but that huge flip on the bewitched core is actually just going to be too small to do anything about for poor Megaverse, going to try to just barrier beam instead of flip. Really good shot there by Droo, and if Bang Bang is trying to take it, they could use a couple more of those.
We see it is 1-2 in this set now. Down but not out here, as with that quick KO on that dash punch. The flip is burned, however. That's going to be one less ability to have for the scoring attempt. But with Shianzu taking the first barrier, they may not need it, as Megaverse is even walking up here. This is going to be difficult to get out, and they fail to do so, as now the net is open. The black hole is available to put out some damage. With that recovery drone, it's looking a little difficult to kill Joker, even if you wanted to.
Absolutely, yeah, the double barrier is going to be really rough for the side of Showtime, though. Almost a great save there from Shianzu, but Droo actually gets in there with the X Maximus once again. Now we have a dribble situation. The path splitter is actually going to end up missing there, and the snare drum is not going to find its target. And it looks like we're going to have Shianzu grab another point right past Fudgy Waffles there, unfortunately. And again, this is now a big situation where we have 2-2 in this set. And if the side of Bang Bang takes it, that's just another awakening for X to scale. And that's not what you want to be seeing.
Definitely a difficult situation here, but two quick barriers, difficult for the defense. We'll have to see if they can get it through, but Joker's now the one in control here, getting that first barrier, but a player goes down. This is tough.
And as you have said, a player has gone down. One less person to help hit the ball. It's going to be the side of Bang Bang taking it. X era again, X the MVP. Possible size showing up for X. What is it going to be here? A couple of interesting things. You know, you don't normally see X's take a dash awakenings, but I don't know. I'm an X dash awakening believer. I'm not going to lie. Stacks, totally acceptable. And nothing too catastrophic here. Maybe Stinger. Maybe Stinger is what changes the game.
It's interesting because you mentioned the dash awakenings. Chrono Boost used to be a tool that X would use because it gave that extra duration on the ultimate. However, they value the speed from Stacks on Stacks is going to be a little bit more difficult to pile up here. And we've seen with their Orb Ponder getting reset before, that may be a difficult thing to keep up. However, maybe they're just looking to play a bit more defensively here and get that stacked up and really abuse that extra speed that they're going to be able to get here. However, with heavy impact going to Juliet, I feel like that's going to be even more KOs from those dash punches. And just like that, we see Gramella going down here just to an ultimate, not the dash punch, but I believe that with this power play coming to life, that is going to be a demanding lead for this team, unless they can't get this out before the black hole comes up, and so does the teammate.
And exactly, they do not. We actually have a really great defense there from Fudgy Waffles, actually getting in there, trying not to get dash punched into their own goal. But man, they end up getting dash punched into the opponent's goal as they walk just so far forward. The team player from Shianzu, that's another thing to keep in mind here. Shianzu's going to have a couple of nice back passes here, probably with Megaverse, to make team player just unbearable. But Droo kind of solos that top barrier there. Really important for the side of Bang if they're trying to keep this one alive. Here we got a dash punch from Joker, but Fudgy Waffles, I mean, he's kind of out of range for it, but still has to hit the ball, and then she still has her strike. It's kind of a tough situation, even if you're, like, evaded or have unstoppable, because you still have to time your strike to hit the ball correctly. So, tough spot there. Good shot by Joker.
I think a big thing to point out here is Droo has gotten that recovery drone out on the first round of this set. They did have to burn a flip to do it. However, it is just the first round. You will have more time to build up that energy. And with another quick KO, not on the one with recovery drone, just a raw kill on Shianzu there. That's going to be a lot of pressure here in this power play. The perfect pitch does not come out. However, Grimella looking to apply some speed, apply some pressure, but it's Megaverse's flip that's getting it done.
Absolutely, the Megaverse's flip extra fast there due to team player actually was too shocking for Budgie to get there in time, and now we have a huge offensive push, a bigger offensive push than anything. Grabs a power play on the way over. We have the Maelstrom taking out Shanzu once again. Fudgy Waffles trying to help here with a little bit of offensive pressure here. Grimella kind of standing in place, but yeah, they not only don't get the barrier on the power play, but they lose Droo in the process there, and he's going to lose all his stacks of basically everything. And you mentioned a little bit earlier, it's going to be tough for him maybe to stay alive with this stacks on stacks, and I agree. In fact, the fact that he even had like 130 stacks was like alarming to me. I feel like they probably should have thought about that maybe just a little bit more.
I gotta be honest, that team player overtime, that single strike, that jump scared me a bit. I was not ready for it to go that fast, so I can understand how this enemy defense is struggling with it just a little bit. Like you mentioned earlier, that team player core flip into the top barrier was too fast, and right now, even though it's the side with the era that has the extra speed and the Mako as well, the speed of this game is not going in their favor. But just like that, Droo makes me shut my mouth. Immediate kill with that bell ringer, and now Grimella is looking on a potential flip here as well as Droo, and with Fudgy having one of their own, that's a lot of resources to defend this point.
Yeah, and that's, oh man, Droo struck the ball and then just walked on top of the ball because Fudgy Waffles has 2 dash awakenings with the drum and bass, plus the slicks, of course. So man, that was very difficult spot there for Megaverse. The speed is truly coming out for the side of Bang Bang, and as we can see, whoa, had a actually great hot shot, perfect pitch there, but it's not going to land the point. But Droo once again with a flip kill. It's really the flip kills that Droo is just landing the whole time. Out Shanzu with a really great defense there. Sad Boys coming in hot, not even in this set, but boy, they are alive and well. The ball is going to keep going around the Atlas Lab barrier, and it's going to be the power play's over, but one barrier for each team right now, and Droo looking quite healthy. Unfortunately, it flips a little bit too late. Fudgy Waffles going to lose their barrier, and oh, it's going to be a push here for the side of Showtime now.
Definitely a difficult situation. That barrier is looking juicy, but Fudgy with no energy to defend themselves from a stealth play doesn't need to, because Droo is looking for the kill on Shianzu here. That could be a huge pickup for their team, but right now the net's open and Fudgy's in a dangerous situation.
Yep. Using the drum and bass, the strike plus drum and bass combo to get the ball kind of out of there. It's kind of just a really great combo when it comes to just making the ball really fast here. Now we have overtime. If we're talking about fast balls, all right, Grimella maybe bailing out Fudgy Waffles in that situation. Kind of do a little interesting self pass there with the black hole as well. The perfect, or not the perfect pitch, the rhythm strike's actually going to make the ball red in overtime here, and it's going to be a tough spot, but Megaverse is certainly holding this one down, and now the fact that it is overtime makes it really hard for a character like X to even dribble. In fact, it's kind of like Estelle is going to be the one benefiting mostly from this overtime, having the most mobility on this field right now, and Droo doing some crazy dribbles on the bottom lane. We got a big flip here, but Joker actually be defended by Fudgy Waffles. Droo once again trying to dribble, 1-2 punch. Overtime's going to get the barrier, and what's it going to be, Dendar?
It's hard to say. The core might be slow, but Droo is looking to make a quick play. Oh, but the angle is not quite there. Trying to get around that barrier beam, but adjusts a little too much. Oh my goodness, the bell ringer sends it in. That huge X between, I believe that was both the Era beam and potentially the Mako secondary. He was looking big there, and it was a big play that was made as they tie this up 2-2 going into the set. But we have to take a look at Droo's stacks here. They're at 5 Orb Ponder and 150 stacks on stacks. That is a huge boon for them, and it's instantly gone.
Nice one, Dendar. I didn't know that you were playing for the side of Showtime, but now we do, as we're going to have just a little bit of power play for that same side here. FudgyWaffle's going to try to make it happen here with the flip with the end snare drum. It's not going to work. Droo not fast enough to get there. No barriers left here, and it's actually match point for the side of Bang Bang, but Showtime keeping this one alive here with the Crystal Thorn. Xianzhu sending all those abilities right at FudgyWaffle's face. I mean, I'll admit, even if you have Evade and Estelle hits the ball at you, sends the Thorns and the primary, you do need another move. You actually need more than just Strike to beat that. So, perfect pitch would work, but FudgyWaffles just did not have it in time. So, keeping this set alive, Showtime they are definitely 0-1 in the set right now. They need this. They need this game more than anything, and they're going to land only a deny. I mean, not really great for Asher. Just simple deny as their main pick. I mean, they have Catalyst and Rapid Fire for the side of Bang Bang. I mean, Showtime takes the set, but Bang Bang takes the Awakening draft, in my opinion.
It's definitely a tough call because that Catalyst is going to be terrifying on X. It's going to allow them to protect those stacks a little bit more by having more evade. But wait a minute, FudgyWaffle's protecting the hopes of their team, getting a quick double barrier there, and Droo's looking to make something happen. I can't even get my words out before the threat of a goal comes through.
Yeah, I mean, that was fast. Droo that was really great angle, got the double barrier, had a lot of speed. I mean, that's pressure coming out. I mean, again, we see FudgyWaffles has 2 dash awakenings. It's hard. Asher's really good at defending, but not when it comes to X having speed. X having size maybe, but speed is definitely just something that kind of no goalie is good with dealing with. So it's like once the scaling happens, like let's say we're in game set 5 here, everyone has max awakenings, things get tough. I mean, he's big, he's fast, look at him go right now. I mean, that wasn't even adrenaline rush, but it looked like it was.
It's looking like a little bit of Xtavia there, but it's Grimella who goes down. That speed is going to be denied for a few seconds here as we wait for them to come back. This power play's alive. However, Xianzhu has also picked up Chrono Boost. That's going to give them a bit more presence on this field. But right now, Droo is trying to present them with the edge of the screen, as it is just so difficult to stay alive against an X that is moving this fast.
Agreed. X moving super fast. Grimella also just gets the speed as well. And yeah, really great shot. And actually kind of threads the needle a little bit there from Droo. Maybe the 1-2 punch helping out. But yeah, I mean, the speed hits Grimella too. So it's like, is this balanced? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But either way, we are going to have Bang Bang up 2-0 right now in this current set. And they are up 1-0 in the series. And they're looking at, once again, the match point. Showtime. What can you guys do here? Joker with flip. Droo actually going to try to get a double here with their flip. Megaverse not spending their flip, but saves the barrier that time. Man, they're going to put everything into this one.
Ooh, Xianzhu's looking in a tough situation, though. No energy, no health. But Joker, trying to use that flip to get a kill, is now not going to have it for the offensive here. As right now, Xianzhu needs to play a little defensive, just stay alive. X is looking to potentially take your life, but the barrier taken, the net's going to be open. This is potentially the beginning of a turnabout.
Yeah, really great strike there, or strike shot there from FudgyWaffle. Their man Droo just takes like 11 hits all in a couple of seconds there. Each player sending their flips, sending their attacks right onto Droo. They do end up getting the kill, reset the stacks, reset the orbs, and Joker is going to land that one through the perfect fit first cast. And this is what Showtime needs. It takes the point, takes Droo's life, no stacks, slower, X. But, I mean, this is where it starts, for real.
I believe that primary animation locked them out of that flip. They could have potentially saved that and kept the play alive, but here we're on to the next one where Joker's already looking a little bit low. This isn't a traditional damage comp in the sense of something like Vice Luna. However, when you have that Era X with all of this scaling, that is a million damage that you have to be scared of. And with Droo having a flip available, any hit seems like it can convert into a kill, but instead it's converted into a barrier here as the net is wide open.
That is indeed wide open. Grimella approaches with flip. What can they do? Bewitching Beam is not going to land. FudgyWaffles defending this barrier for their life. Grimella going to make the biggest final play here. Nope, the flip's not going to land through Xianzhu. Going to get that strike up. No problem here. Big pressure on the side of Bang Bang, though. They're not actually going to be able to get it out here through Xianzhu and the Joker. Grimella helping out as much as they can successfully. Once again, down to Megaverse on the bottom side here. Xianzhu looking a little bit low. If they could end up killing Xianzhu, 1 health, doesn't get staggered. Still dodging the bell ringer. Kind of a huge moment here. Everyone kind of waiting. Everyone holding the ball, waiting to see if Xianzhu's life will be taken here. not regenning enough. X's health is kind of returning, and it's not going to be the Crystal Thorns here. What's it going to be, dude?
Oh, it could be a million things. It's Joker in the lead here, but Droo with no energy. Perhaps Megaverse will be able to hold it down with a little bit of hit stun. Help from Xianzhu, perhaps. But right now, this net is still open, and this core is still fast, and Droo is in control.
Oh, absolutely. Droo is indeed in control in the X Maximus, in the drum and bass, has 1-2 punch. It's overtime. It's Catalyst. It's full stacks. Man, how many times did Droo get and lose the full stacks of stacks? I mean, maybe 4 or 5 times, going from 0 to 150 in 1 point, basically. That was messed up.
If anything, it just shows how aware Droo is that orbs are an objective there, and that you do have to stack those up. You can't just take that awakening and forget about it. You have to keep that up so that you can keep up your pressure, just as they did. And that was a lot of cooldown reductions that they got from those orbs. Even though they were losing the full stacks, they're still getting value out of it as they're healing up from the pressure of things. Like those dash punches, maybe if they don't kill, it's still a lot of damage, especially once we saw like the bulk up and the heavy impact get picked up there. So even if you don't get to keep it fully stacked, you're still making good use of it, which is the important thing there. And the stacks on stacks, I mean, after a first point, we saw them at 80 stacks out of 150. That's about halfway there. And with how they were playing and how much they were hitting people, it's not like they couldn't stack it up, especially once that Catalyst got online. That was definitely a terrifying situation, and those 12 goals show it, you know? That is not a stat line you just happen to come out of a game with. That is intent, and that is brutality, as they do win that game. And honestly, a spectacular performance.
Yeah, it's a little interesting to see that we had X Era in our first game, actually for the side of Showtime there, and it didn't actually end up making that one work out. Bang Bang kind of just, I don't know, played better. Maybe the Awakening somehow come into play there, but then we have Bang Bang taking X Era. They get the Mako though. The other side was X Era Rune, which is interesting. Rune sometimes does stuff, but that's okay. We don't have to talk about Rune, but we can talk about Mako, as Mako directly supports Era and X the whole time, and supports anyone. But I mean, you give X some size and some speed, and that's it. If X has size or we'll just say mobility, that's it.